President William Ruto's recent remarks and political maneuvers have sparked growing speculation that he may not willing hand over power after 2027 general election. Here's the tape.
Hawa watu wengine hawana mpango, musipoteze na we cannot hand over to people hawana mpango. Ati mpango yao Ruto must go. Sasa Ruto must go itakusaidia na nini?
Well, that's President Ruto for you. Now, while he has not explicitly stated that he plans to clinch office beyond his constitutional term, various signs suggest a potential attempt to extend his grip on power. Now, I want us to look into this issue deeply, why many believe Ruto is laying the ground to defy a democratic transition in 2027. Let's go for it. Now, straight to the point. Reason number one, there is this hostile rhetoric against the opposition. You see, Ruto has consistently dismissed the opposition as unpatriotic, anarchist, and aligned with foreign interests. So his narrative that the opposition is sabotaging government development paints them as enemies of progress and not democratic rivals. So this hostile posture justifies action that undermines democratic competition, and it lays psychological foundation to question election results or suppress dissent in 2027. So Ujama may feel there is something, and you saw Gachagua retaliated immediately. Let's just listen to this clip from Gachagua.
Nimesikia Kasongo amesema akiwa huko Western Kenya ati ya kwamba akishindwa hata handover kwa watu ambaye hawana plan. Wacha nikuambie Kasongo, umefanya mzuri kukubali utashindwa, hapo umepata. Si ndio? Pahali umeangukia Kasongo, there is no provision of handing over in the Kenya Constitution. What there is assumption of office. Hatuhitaji wewe kwa rais mpya ambaye atachaguliwa na Wakenya kuchukua ofisi. Kasongo aende asiende? Aende asiende?
Point number two. There is this narrative of weakening of independent institutions. You see, under Ruto's administration, there has been growing concerns over the weakening of independent institutions like the judiciary, the IBC, and even the civil service. Why? Because the appointments to key bodies appears politically motivated, with allies strategically placed to control outcomes. You've heard Gachagua kwa mfano crying kila siku, jamaa anasema when Ruto appoints you as a CS, will put somebody behind you so that he can control the narrative, the whole narrative around the ministry or that docket. So this class strategic used by leaders who want to stay in power and compromise institutions that should act as check and balances. Reason number three, there is this militarization of governments and policy loyalty. The increased involvement of military and police in civilian matters raises alarm bells. You've seen, for example, just the other day, Ruto has, rallied on the police to quell protests and silence civil unrest. And the recently, brutality against demonstrators, only that has sparked accusations of state, repression. So with the security forces, leaning towards loyalty to the president, it becomes easier for him to resist democratic pressure to exit office. And that's the fact. In most African countries, that's normal what happens. Wanna control. Reason number four, there is this strategic use of religion and propaganda narrative. This one, many politicians have adopted it and have mastered the art of blending religion with politics. And they often invoking God in, public addresses and also aligning themselves with religious leaders. So this not only strengthens their image among devout voters, but also creates a divine right to rule narrative. So with this, in fact, additionally, the use of propaganda through state-aligned media outlets helps control public opinion, shaping them, that's politician, as indispensable to the country's future. So with all this narrative of strategic and use of religion and propaganda suits many politicians who use the advantage. And I'm sure pengine our boss can also, use the same strategy tool come 2027. Lastly, there is this attack on the constitution and democratic norms. You've heard many politicians talking about this thing. Of course, there are already signs of, Ruto-leaning politicians proposing constitutional and amendments that could weaken term limits or structure electrical frameworks. And you've seen politicians talking about this all through, that they had that intention of, extending term limits for president. It's been public domain for, mentioned by many politicians, especially those allied to Kenya Kwanza government. So moves like these are often subtle at first, but can escalate towards full-blown authoritarianism. Yeah. So his silence or lukewarm response to such proposals indicates, passive approval or behind the scenes coordinations. Vitu fanyika nyuma ya curtain ni nyingi. You've heard of the scenario ile imekuwa ya Kenyan government seal, ilikuwa imeenda nyuma ya tent kidogo kidogo, it's missing, and then from nowhere we are told now it's in the Attorney General's office. So mambo ni mingi Kenya, sijui time ndio kidogo vile mtu sema. Yeah. So in conclusion, while President Ruto has not directly declared that he won't leave office in 2027, his actions and statements tell different story. But by undermining institutions, fueling propaganda, and consolidating loyalty from key organs of the state, he may be preparing the ground to challenge the transition of power. Who knows? So Kenyans must remain vigilant, as a democracy thrives only when leaders respect its rules and willing to exit when time comes. So time will tell when we reach there, but it's not far. We just have less than 1.5 years to hit the ground. So mambo ni mingi, we shall see when we reach there. So that's it for today. I've been your host, David Chams. If you're new here watching and listening for the first time, remember to hit that subscription button. Subscribe to our channel, give it a like, and then also don't forget to hit that notification button so that we get to know more updates we bring day in, day out for you to get updated all through. So see you in the next video. Bye-bye.